Hi everyone, Ryan Iyer here, founder of Pitchfire. Today I want to give some thoughts on where I see the industry going and how I want us to kind of think about this as a group. If you think about all these different things that we're doing in the sales space today, we're writing cold emails, we're doing cold calling, we do prospecting, we do inbound to try and get people to fill out forms. We chase these people. And when we chase them, the whole game is how many responses can I drive up? If you get a lot of responses, some of those will be positive. Some of those positive responses will turn into pipeline. Your company closes some of that pipeline, and before long, you're off. You're hitting your revenue targets. The issue is that 60% of the time when people actually try and hit these revenue targets, they miss. 60. It's crazy. And we fail more than we succeed if you're a company that's listening to this and hearing this right now. It's funny, I think about the first website I ever made. It was in 1998, and I made a Yahoo GeoCities page about Pokemon cards. I had a little Pokemon card website that I made, and the design on it was terrible. I wish I had screenshots of it today, but obviously GeoCities got shut down years ago and you can't find it anywhere. But I had this website that I used to go and write and talk about Pokemon cards, and it looked terrible. It had a tiled background, it had little animated images on it, pictures of Pokemon, the card values, all that stuff. And the way I grew traffic on it was I would go, I'm in 8th grade doing this, or 7th grade or 6th grade or something. I'd go hit up other people that had Pokemon websites and say, hey, list my site on your site and I'll list your site on mine. And we used to do these things called web brinks to attract traffic to each other's sites. Before long, directories turned into search engines and people started using Google, and the whole thing changed kind of overnight. If you go look back at those sites today, they're laughable. The design is terrible. We see them all the time. Do a Google search on an image of a GeoCities page, you'll laugh and probably make fun of it a little bit. Web design has gotten a lot better. And the way that I've been thinking about it today, we're gonna do the same thing when we look at sales pitches over cold email and cold calling. We're gonna see the little crappy cold email screenshots that we all look at today and say, why the hell were we doing this? Why did email look like this? I think it's interesting that in the workspace today, everybody has designated places to do things. We have Slack if you want to talk to someone internally. You use email for external communication right now, but you also use email for other things too, like sharing items and emails to applications. Sellers have Salesforce. They go into Salesforce or HubSpot or whatever they're using for CRM, and they keep track of all the stuff that's happening and the deals that they're actively working. We don't really have a place for that for buyers. Sure, a salesperson could go buy some deal room software and then invite you into it, but that buyer is going in on the seller's terms as a salesperson. And it's their project. They're the ones that are making a decision on whether they want to buy something or not. Anyways, what I really am starting to think about is what's the future of pitching actually look like? We're about to enter this new area in the world where the person that you're selling to with cold prospecting is someone that grew up watching Vines when Twitter had Vine, or Instagram and TikTok videos, shorts. And you're probably thinking, well, I already use video prospecting. There's stuff like Vidyard and Loom and BombBoom and Zeit and all those things, but we're not really using pitching that way. We've already talked before about the Gmail limits coming with prospecting. You got issues with email deliverability. And I just think it's time that we start thinking about what's an actual pitch look like 10 years from now. Is it gonna look like a GeoCities page when you look at a cold email? Why are we digesting and looking at prospecting in a platform that's not designed for it? That's where I want to head with Pitchfire. That's the world I'm trying to build. I think that there's enough of cold emails and cold calls. I think that era is done. And I'm not saying that it doesn't work. I call that organic prospecting. You still you stack on Pitchfire for paid prospecting, and that's fine. But the world I'm thinking about building is something better than a pitch. It's not just a text block that you have to read. We're about to get all these buyers in decision-making positions that literally can't watch a TV show or movie without flicking through videos on their phone. How are you gonna get their attention as a seller? That's how I'm thinking about it. So we're gonna try and think of some ways to make pitching better on Pitchfire in the upcoming months. And if you're a salesperson that's been listening, you've been hesitant to send any pitches to people, you can do the version of it right now that we have. It's great, it still works. It's using the old platform, but we're gonna evolve what the idea of a pitch is when you send a prospecting pitch to someone. Remember, a pitch is not a meeting. A pitch is a quick elevator pitch to get someone in and get them out and have them make a decision about what to do. I just want to talk about this and get some dialogue. What do you think pitching should look like? How would you like to get pitched? Do you want to get pitched with something that's entertaining and fun and has feeling? As a seller, what kind of pitching do you want to do? Do you want to keep sending templates to people, or do you want to do something cool and unique and different that's art, that speaks, but it's also science, and it becomes a game of like, hey, how much do I budget for this thing? You could literally go buy Pipeline right now in Pitchfire, or you can keep ripping off emails and calls and keeping the status quo the same. I think that there should be a better world where professional life is meshed with personal, and things are great. And you like it for both reasons, not just one. We're not just our jobs anymore. We're way more than that. We're deeper. We're more important than that. So that's how I've been thinking about it a little bit. I just wanted to put a video out and talk about it with my LinkedIn followers. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but that's it. If you have any questions or you have any comments, I'd like to know what you think the future of pitching should look like. Is it a thing online that you go into and look at? What should that look like? What information? And don't just think of professional. Think of something that you actually would look forward to looking at. Yeah, we're going to pay you to answer a sales pitch on Pitchfire, right? If you're watching this, but like, think of the perspective of like, what am I processing? I want some feedback from that. I'm open. Hit DMs on me on LinkedIn. I want to talk to people. Hit some DMs with me. My email's ryan@pitchfire.com. I want to know what you think the future of pitching should look like. That's it. Have a nice weekend, everyone.